Thanks for your patience, everybody. We're going to start in a minute. Requesting all of you to take your seats and phones on silent, please, for the keynote. Thank you very much.
And hey guys, now it's going to start and let's get started.
Good afternoon, everybody. A big warm welcome to all our guests, our media colleagues, and all our big fans. Thank you so much for joining in. And a special welcome to thousands of fans for watching us live right now. And a big thanks to you guys. You actually passed the heat of Delhi and took out time to come here. So thank you so much. A few weeks back when we were launching Redmi 4, I announced that the successor to Redmi 3 is coming very soon. So we are here today to launch our next Redmi device. But before we go there, I want to talk a little bit about one of the most exciting weeks of my professional journey. We had a special guest a few weeks back. Who was this guy? Our founder CEO Deju. He was here in India, and we got a chance to meet a very special person in India, Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi. We were told that we will get only about 10 minutes with him, and we started these 10 minutes by telling him about the whole philosophy of Xiaomi and how we are trying to disrupt the smartphone market. And the fact that these are not just smartphones, these are mini computers. They are bringing millions of people online, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 towns. He was very impressed. He actually gave us a lot of valuable advice on what we can do to further improve our business. And he asked us to integrate some of his apps and services, including e-maps, in our words. And that's something that we are actually trying out right now. We asked him for a selfie, and he kindly agreed. In fact, he was so impressed by our journey that he posted this on his social media pages, both Facebook and Twitter. And in few days, he got more than 1.5 lakh people liking his Facebook post. Later was very impressed by India, and he asked me, which is the best college or best school in India producing tech talent? And of course, I took him to IIT Delhi. Don't you agree? IIT Delhi is the best college in India, best school. So together we discussed a lot about how do we further strengthen our India business. And we said we are going to focus on three things. First, we are going to double down all our efforts from an input perspective in India. Second, we will try and solve this perennial problem of out of stock. People still continue to complain that our products, even though we're the second biggest brand, our products are not available in the market. So how do we solve that? And third, continued focus on both products and services. And I'm going to talk about each one of them. First, doubling down our efforts. So everything, every single possible input, we're going to double this year. For example, number of employees. We did $1 billion revenue last year, which is about 150 employees. And by the end of this year, we will easily have 300. We are currently at about 230 people. If you look at number of service centers, we had 225 service centers in India by the beginning of this year. And by July this year, we will have more than 500 service centers. Thank you. We had two mother warehouses, both in Bangalore last year. And as we speak, currently we have four mother warehouses in the country. We had one manufacturing plant last year, and as you know right now, we have two manufacturing plants. So every single thing we are going to double down in India this year. Second thing about how do we solve this problem of availability? Second biggest brands are producing one phone per second, but people still continue to complain that they cannot buy this product. Some people in fact complain are doing this consciously, and we're doing something called as hunger marketing, which is completely false. We want to make our phones as easily available to our Mi fans as it can be. Initiative last week, which we call as Mi Home. The reason why we call it a Mi Home and not a Mi Shop or a Mi Store, because we want it to be as comfortable as your own home. You can walk into this store for about, and you can play games or watch videos or sip a coffee for 6 hours. Of course, we are in Phoenix Market City in Bangalore. It's a very elegant, very minimalistic design. As you can see, everything is made of wood, not plastic. And all our products that have been launched in India will be available here at Mi Home. We actually think of Mi Home as an extension to Mi.com. There are two different parts of the same business, which is our own branded retail. And we are trying to bring all the efficiencies of online into offline via Mi Home model. We actually believe Mi Home will be as cost efficient as any other e-commerce platform in India. So the first Mi Home goes live on 20th of May, which is next Saturday at 9 a.m. And post which we will be opening 4 more Mi Homes, one in Delhi, one in Hyderabad, Chennai, and Mumbai. Thank you. And once we are perfect in the business model of these 5 Mi Homes, and we have ensured that they are profitable, we would want to open 100 Mi Homes in the next 2 years. A new promise to our fans today that these Mi Homes will never be out of stock. They will always be in stock. We will do a priority allocation to our Mi Homes. So if you walk into a Mi Home, you will always get a product, and in case it's been out of stock, we will issue an F code so that you can go and buy it from Mi.com. Thank you. So Mi Home and Mi.com are two different faces of the same business unit, and we are trying to build the omni-channel business here in India. Third thing, which is quality, which is really important for us. We are trying to focus both on product quality and service quality. On product side, we go through a large number of tests before we launch any phone here in the country. First one is obviously all different tests which are done at factory, hundreds of tests that we do over here. Lab tests, both in India as well as some of the international labs. And we do field tests, which is we take every single phone to different states, different cities, test them on different networks to ensure they're working perfectly. And this is something that many other brands also do. But there is one thing that we do that nobody else does, which is beta testing. Before they launch a phone, we actually give it to hundreds of fans, and they test it out for weeks and months. And only when they approve it is when we launch a phone here in India. So this is what we do from a quality testing perspective on our phones. We also do for service. We run a service called as NPS, Net Promoter Score. We will reach out to people who have either bought a phone or have used any of our services like call center, after sales service, or logistics or Mi.com. And we ask them, how happy were you with the service? Just to your friends and family members. And I would want to show some of the results from last month's NPS. So 94% people said they like our phones. They also said 94% people that they would want to buy a Xiaomi phone again and would recommend Xiaomi to a friend or a family member. This is on the product side. But when we asked about survey, that in case if you bought it from Mi.com, were you happy with the logistics service? 85% people said the products were delivered on time and they were very happy with the logistics service. An issue with the phone, and we call the call center or walk into a service center. 70% people said they were very happy with their after-sales service and they would really recommend Xiaomi. Of course, we're trying to improve this. This is just the starting point. But our hope is to further improve these numbers in coming few months and over the period of this year. So this is what we are doing from an input perspective. And this is what leads to output, which is all the love that we get from our fans. So there was a recent survey done by Strategy Analytics, one of the leading global consulting firms. They came to India and they asked 2 questions to people. One, which phone do you own? And second, which phone are you likely to buy next whenever you're planning to upgrade? When they ask the second question, you might have seen this already, but when they asked the second question, Xiaomi came out as the most preferred brand in India. But one out of four people said that their next purchase is going to be a Xiaomi phone, which is also reflected in our market share numbers. IDC actually released these numbers today morning. We continue to remain the number one brand in the online segment. We have more than 40% market share. But what is more interesting is if you look at the number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 brands, and if you add them up, all of them together, they have about 38% market share. We continue to remain the number 2 brand overall between online and offline. They have about 14% market share. And Redmi Note 4 in Q1, we sold about 1.8 million units, and it became the highest share phone in this quarter, Jan, Feb, March, across both online and offline. If you look at last 6 years, there was one brand which was dominating. There was a particular phone from this brand. It used to be the number 1 selling phone every single quarter, online plus offline. And last few quarters, it used to be one of the J series phones. It used to be J2. And after 6.5 years, after first time since Q4 2011, is one product which is beat on J2, which is Redmi Note 4. So I thank all of you guys for your support and making Redmi Note 4 the most loved and the most in Q1 2007. Thank you so much, guys. So not just Redmi Note 4, but each of us are doing really well. For example, Redmi 4, which we launched about 6 weeks back. 2.5 lakh units available, and everything was sold out in 4 minutes. In fact, this became the highest, the fastest selling phone on Amazon India. 91 Mobile came up with a new survey, which are the top 6 most popular phones in Q1, and 4 out of the 6 were Xiaomi phones. Number 1, Redmi 4S. Number 2, Redmi Note 4, and number 6, Redmi 3S and 3S Prime. So 4 out of 6 phones were Xiaomi phones. About our blockbuster Redmi 3S, it became the highest selling phone in the history of online India. We've sold more than 4 million units across Redmi 3S, this Prime, 4 million units in about 5 months since its launch in August 2016. This was Redmi Note 3, and we had sold about 3.6 million units. Is even progress. We said Redmi 4 is a new category that we're building, and the success of the Redmi 3 is coming very soon. Launching our next Redmi device. I'll talk more about this. I'll call it 6 Gen.
Thank you. We've got this amazing stage, so we wanted to use it for both sides. Thank you for joining us here. We're really excited to have you for our next Redmi smartphone. But today, I want to talk to you about our current Redmi hero, Redmi 3S. As Manu mentioned, it's broken all the records online. Now, there are 3 primary reasons why it's done so well. The mAh battery, the awesome performance, and the 13 megapixel PDAF camera. This is from Android Central. He said that Redmi 3S proves that $100 smartphones don't have to be terrible. Called it the budget battery kit. But it wasn't just produced from the media. Me fans also love Redmi 3S. People like Richard here are calling it the best Android in the price bracket. It's also the user feedback that matters the most to us. average rating of 4.3 stars. In fact, Redmi 3S is the most reviewed product in the history of Indian e-commerce. It has more than 2 times the number of reviews in the second highest smartphone. So today, we're launching the successor to the king, Redmi 4. All right, I want to start with battery life, and I know I must sound like a broken record because I keep talking about it, but in my opinion, battery life is the most important thing in a smartphone. An amazing battery life was one of the main reasons why people love Redmi 3S. Let's take a look at some of the data we have. So this was my battery life when I was using it as my daily driver. I'm a pretty heavy user, and I actually had the Wi-Fi hotspot on for more than 5 hours a day. Yet I'm still left with 42% battery. Another heavy Redmi 3S user, Abe, managed to get 15 hours of screen-on time. 15 hours. And when we showed this last year, many people didn't believe it. And actually, some of you said that screen-on time isn't the only thing that matters. But if you read through those 600,000 reviews, it's not just our claim anymore. It's a fact. So, of course, we wanted to make sure that we continue this tradition with the Redmi 4. So just like the Redmi 3S, it also packs a huge 4100 milliamp-hour battery, which is enough for 2 days of battery. It delivers an incredible 18 days on standby. If you compare Redmi 4 to the Moto G5, it has more than 50% battery capacity, so you can stay powered for much longer. In our lab tests, Redmi 4 also performed well across a range of categories. Take a look at some of the numbers here. This is 13 hours of continued gaming. We have 8 hours of HD video recording. Incredible, 36 hours of 3G talk time. During our internal test, one of our colleagues, which I'm sure the fans know well, Shashank, he managed to get 2 days of battery life with regular use. Things like browsing, messaging apps, calls, music, and more. Plus, he still had 10% battery at the end of the second day. 4. It's the 4100 milliamp hour 2-day battery. Next, I want to talk about the first thing, of course, is the processor, and Redmi 4 is powered by the Snapdragon 435. It's a similar setup to the Redmi 3S. It has 4 and 4 power cores. So you get the same performance that Mi fans loved with the Redmi 3S. But as a product company, we focus on the areas. We don't look at a single component in isolation. We don't design products simply to look good on a spreadsheet. What matters to us is to actually start using it. Benchmarks are smooth performance, power efficiency, and thermal performance. Redmi 4 has a gorgeous 5-inch HD display, and people have asked us, since Redmi phones are known to provide great specs at affordable prices, why don't you just use the 1080p Full HD display instead? Well, first of all, because of the phone, it already has 296 dpi of what the human eye can see. And secondly, the display actually has a very big impact on the performance of your phone. So to explain our thought process, let's use a simple example. For like a heavy-duty truck, Snapdragon 435. It can take on a pretty decent workload and still travel smoothly. But you increase the workload, the truck won't be able to travel as fast as it normally would. And if you would pair Redmi 4 with a Full HD display, This is because it has twice the number of pixels of an HD display. So we know that the truck will have a lower max speed. But the question is it worth it? For example, we look at the Moto G5. Both phones have the same graphics card, but Moto G5 has a Full HD display. In our internal lab tests, we found that Redmi 4 has frame rates versus Moto G5. And this is using on-screen graphics from GFX bench, like Manhattan and T-Rex. In other words, it's 2 times smoother than the Moto G5. And because the workload on a 1080p display is more, to travel the same distance. This means that Redmi 4 is also more power efficient. So the third thing we consider is the performance, and this is particularly important now. And the combination of an HD display and the Adreno 5 GPU also delivers significantly better thermal performance. So we ran a 20-minute gaming test of G5 with the Redmi 4. Here you can see the Moto Redmi 4 on the right. They both start at about the same temperature. If you look at it after 10 minutes, it's a little warm, and the Redmi 4 is still cool. The Moto G5 significantly crosses 45 degrees in a visible way. The top half of this phone, especially around the earpiece. And if you look at Redmi 4, it doesn't even get. I'm going to ask, is it still worth it to have a Full HD display in Redmi 4? Battery life and thermal performance would be worse. Well, our answer, of course, is no. This is why looking at overall performance is the most important thing. In this lens, the 1080p is to be a downgrade. The Redmi 4 delivers great performance. So next, let's talk about design. Earlier this year, we launched Redmi Note 4, and it was our first smartphone to support this gorgeous black-on-black matte finish. This to Redmi 4 as well. It comes with a matte black metal finish and body. The design is made to Redmi 4. This phone is simply beautiful. I encourage you to check it out and experience it after this, and you'll see what I mean. I've mistaken Redmi 4 for Mi 6 when I've been carrying it around for the last few weeks. But here's a view from the top. Gorgeous rounded corner. Of course, it's also available in elegant gold. From the back, the aluminum metal body definitely looks gorgeous. The black is super sleek. This is, of course, my favorite. And here they are together, a perfect accessory for any outfit. Other than the two colors going black, we've done so much with design to the hand feel. Redmi 4 weighs 150 grams and is just 8.6 millimeters thick. For engineering, it's the same Q battery that we have in the 5.5-inch Redmi Note 4 into such a slim and compact phone. It's a clear visual upgrade from the Redmi 3S, especially from the side. The slim, tapered edge. The 5-inch display is sized perfectly to fit in your hand to provide that classic hand feel. Another, the 2.5D curved glass on the front. curved glass and sort of pan field. This is an actual photo of Redmi 3X and Redmi 4. If you look at Redmi 3X from last year, you can see a lot of the gold metal rim. Whereas if you look at the Redmi 4, the gold rim is barely visible. Redmi 4 feels a lot smoother in your hand, especially in the soft part of your thumb when you're scrolling. Getting a lot of applause, thank you. The corners of Redmi 4 are more rounded, and I really appreciate the ergonomics, especially when taking phone calls. My hand usually grips the bottom part of the phone. 4 doesn't just feel better, it also looks better. It now comes with anodized high-gloss aluminum separation lines, giving you that premium look. And if you look at them side by side, you can see that the gold on the Redmi 4 is more tasteful and elegant than the Redmi 3X. Speaker grills are now placed at the bottom, better down dispersion, for a cleaner look. I particularly love the symmetrical look of the speakers, especially from the bottom. Design, let's talk about it has a 13 megapixel PDAF camera, which also comes with several built-in features, HDR, panorama, burst mode, and more. PDAF stands for face detection autofocus. Super fast focus, like you can see here. It's just 0.1 seconds. Now, this results in more consistent photos because they're in focus more often. Let's take a look at some of the awesome camera snaps that we took on Redmi 4. This photo is actually taken out. You can see mine with the red brick, especially on the rooftop. See the crescent moon in the upper left there. It's correctly exposed because otherwise it would have been totally washed out. Here's a macro shot of the leaf. Every detail, the ribs, the nettle veins, they're all perfectly visible. The ants in this photo are about 1 centimeter, and their antennae are about 1 millimeter in width, yet they're still distinctly visible on this screen. The thing I like most about this photo is the contrast. The color of this guy's jacket is similar to the partition behind him, and yet they're both visible. You can even see the sheen on his jacket. This is an excellent image to show off the dynamic range of Redmi 4. As you can see, this image is taken against the sunlight, and yet the spider here in the foreground is still visible. Another image to show off the dynamic range. Half of her face is covered and is exposed to sunlight, but no details are lost. And more important components come out perfectly accurate. Redmi 4 comes with a 5 megapixel front facing. Just like Redmi Note 4, it has Beautify with now 2 modes, Smart and Pro. You can see here the difference between a regular photo and Beautify on the right. Your selfies so that they look amazing, even without a filter. Beautify does even more with the 2 modes. With the Smart mode, you can select from low, medium, and high, and the Pro gives you full control, whatever details you want, and get perfectly customized selfies. All variants of the Redmi 4 now come with a fingerprint sensor, and it's extremely convenient to unlock your phone. The pattern of password can be time-consuming and tedious. The fingerprint sensor really quickly, just 0.3 seconds at the touch of your fingerprint. But unlocking is not the only thing that fingerprint sensors are useful for. That Galtasi's Facebook was recently hijacked. Actually, his dad called him while he was tapping and asked him what was going on. Literally everybody here wanted a free card. And See, Rose, that's not me. So in the end, we found out who the hijacked culprit was. DJ saw that Roy's phone was lying around unlocked and decided to play a prank on it. So first of all, you should never leave your phone lying around and unlocked. Okay. But if you do, or if you lend your phone to someone, you really don't want them to access certain apps like Facebook, WhatsApp, or your gallery. It comes with App Lock, which adds a layer of fingerprint or passcode security over individual apps. This gives you extra security, even after you've unlocked your phone. Protect your sensitive data, and this works for any app installed on your phone. Just go to your settings, and then select the apps you want to lock. It's that simple. Also works with Second Space. Second Space allows you to create another profile with different wallpaper, different apps, different files, and different photos. Video, the right index finger unlocks a personal profile with this cat wallpaper. It unlocks a more serious profile. So if we look at it again, you can see here the right index finger. You have your personal apps like Facebook. And then the same phone with the left index finger unlocks to a completely separate profile. Redmi 4 also comes with an IR blaster, which turns it into a universal remote control for your TV. This is, again, very important for us now. It has a dual SIM hybrid tray with up to 128 gigabytes of micro SD storage. It comes with MIUI 8, the latest version of our Android operating system. It's packed with features. We have dual apps, which lets you have that profile. We have Quick Ball, which puts customizable shortcuts at your fingertips. And we have a full featured calculator with things like currency conversions. Apart from running MIUI 8, Redmi 4 can also run a special preview of Android X. Mi fans can switch to this version. So this is the special beta version, and as Money said, we measure ourselves very carefully on quality. Our software range of version number is setting. So we'll push out the Android N version once we get enough feedback from all of you, and but if you want to switch, it's available out of the box. Redmi 4 is also made in India. Biggest applause for that so far. So in summary, Redmi 4, 4100 milliamp hour battery, which gives you 2 days of battery life. Snapdragon 435 processor, metal frame, and 2.5D curved glass for all variants. So now let's talk about the price. We'll do a few comparisons here. So first, 2016, and even though the older version is a little more popular still, across the board, it's worse than the Redmi 4, from the RAM to the ROM to the much smaller battery. Processor in particular makes this phone a pain. The Moto G5 here starts now at 10,999, and Redmi 4, as we showed, has better battery life and, most importantly, better thermal performance. And then we have the Samsung J2, which has 2 gigabytes of RAM and just a 2400 milliamp hour battery, 1,000 rupees. Version with the fingerprint scanner. What do you think is the price? Jack. This is less than the J2 2016 Samsung phone, which is the J5 Prime. It is the same great price as the 3X, which is why I'm sure you all guessed it, but this time it comes with a fingerprint sensor. What about the 332 version? So I mentioned the Moto G5 starts at 10,999, has 3 gigabytes of RAM, but just 16 gigabytes. 332? Okay, so I think you're really going to love this one. The 464 version of the Redmi Note 4 was the most popular. So of course, we wanted to make sure that we brought this to the Redmi 4 as well. Then triple mouse. So in summary, Redmi 4, 4100 milliamp hour, 2-day battery. Display with incredible hand feel. The Snapdragon 435 octa-core processor. The 13 megapixel PDAF camera, starting from just 6,999 for the 216 version, 332, and just 10,999 464 version. So our vision is to bring innovation to everyone. But we're more than just a smartphone company. Most of you know that we love to bring smart, powerful features to even the most ordinary home appliances. Well, there's one seemingly ordinary product that gets overlooked. That's frozen in time. The traditional home router. So the routers that you see here, one is 10 years old. And actually looking at this photo, it's difficult to tell which is which. In the last decade, technology has advanced by leaps and bounds, but the routers you have still look the same. So today, using our first router, 3C. We don't compromise on design, and the beautiful 3C reflects this. And elegant. It fits well not just functionally, but as an object of modern decor. You can definitely tell that this wasn't made 10 years ago. So we designed Mi Router 3C around 3 key points: smart features, range, and speed. First, let me talk about the smart features. What really sets this router apart is how much more it does than your typical device. It also needs Wi-Fi app, which is available on both iOS and Android. It's integrated directly with this app. So first, let's talk about setting up a new router. For most, it's frustrating. In fact, you had somebody come to your house to install it for you. But with the Mi Wi-Fi app, this can be done very quickly and easily. So here, I'm going to show you the setup for the PPP-oE connection, which I think is probably the hardest thing to do. It's pretty simple, just 3 steps. First, you open the app, and it'll detect your new router. Second, you plug an Ethernet cable from your old router to the Mi Router 3C. And then third, we'll automatically import your settings to the router. This is probably the most difficult setup, but if you have fiber, all you have to do is swap the wires, and the app will guide you through the rest. So this is real devices are connected to your network, they use in real time. So, quick question. How many of you here? That's it? Okay. Well, I think the few parents in the audience will appreciate this, or the people who are too shy to raise their hand. Parental control. Parents want additional features to control or restrict internet access for your children. With parental control set up a scheduled time each weekday for your children's internet access at the school. You can also blacklist or whitelist certain websites, and you can even set it up to get a notification to connect to your network. Next is guest shares. Every time my friends and guests come over, they always want the Wi-Fi password. But giving away a master password means that anybody can access my network drives, for example. Create a unique Wi-Fi login for friends so that I can see my. I can also use a really simple password like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So friends don't have to copy complicated things from paper, or you don't have to remember some crazy password. Your party is over, you can just turn it off. So now, for advanced users, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this. You probably know this number for your own router. It's slightly different for every router. It's the browser that your admin panel. It's a complicated maze of settings and a minefield of potential mistakes. But one of the most important things that you should do here is to make sure that your router is using that Wi-Fi channel. For those of you who don't know what this is, let me explain. When you're in an apartment complex, there are a lot of competing Wi-Fi networks around. This is an app that shows you all of the networks around, and you can see here, it's pretty busy. Just find out where are the NP channels. In this case, it'd be pretty difficult to do on your own. Once you figure out which channel, you have to log in. And actually, on this device, changing the channel is very advanced settings. You have to change it here. You have to decide, okay, I'll change it to channel 11. Now, as I mentioned, changing your Wi-Fi channel is the single most important thing you can do on your router to increase signal strength and speed. It reduces and have a huge impact on your Wi-Fi experience. And so buried in these annoying admin settings that most people never do. So we've made this really, really simple, and it's a feature we call Wi-Fi Boost. Favorite feature of the new router 3C. Wi-Fi Boost optimizes your network experience by automatically selecting the best channel for you. Just click a button in the app, and it immediately happens. This is so simple that anybody can do it, not just advanced users. So in summary, here are the smart, useful features on the Mi Router 3C. You get real-time monitoring, guest sharing, parental controls, and of course, most importantly, super easy setup. So we actually created a video. Let's take a look at that. Oh, hey, welcome to my house. So I'm having a party today, and you can see all the guests are here. What do you think is the first thing that people ask when they come to your house? It's not a glass of water. They would ask for your Wi-Fi password. With Mi Router, you don't have to give them your master password. In other words, so that all your guests can just use that. You don't have access to any device on your main network. Your neighbors can't use it. And they leave. So with Mi Router, it comes with a super intelligent app that lets you have full control of your network right from your phone. Probably Wi-Fi. Let me show you a couple of really cool features. See that dude over there? That's Xiaomi. He's the guy that can switch all the bandwidth every time they have one of these phones. With the new Wi-Fi app, you can actually limit the bandwidth of any device in your network. In this case, let's have Wi-Fi. The other thing you can do is add into a block list, which completely removes me from the network. With one click, I can just block it. There you go. Another super useful feature of the Wi-Fi app is parental control. When my cousin comes over, I'm responsible. So I can make sure that he doesn't access any kind of weird websites that'll get me in trouble with my uncle. You can also limit the time of day that your kids are on the network. So since I don't have kids, I actually use it for my parents. So another really good feature of the new Wi-Fi app is called Keynote. It lets you prioritize traffic in your network. So you can prioritize types, things like videos, and make sure that you're always streaming high quality. Or you can limit the bandwidth on your guest network. Saturday night, so of course we're watching the match. And with QoS, we can see the perfect high level. Let's check it out. That was actually my house, by the way. So that's speed router speed. It's smarter than your average router. So next, I want to talk about range. Most of us at home, and the subpar router can lead to a patchy connection, or even worse, the dead zone. Places where your Wi-Fi signal just doesn't reach. vRouter 3C achieves higher speeds at further distances than your typical router. It transmits ranges of up to 80 meters with high wall penetration. Now, of course, the effective range will vary based on the number and thickness of the walls in your home. But how do we achieve this range? Good antennas. Here you see some antennas from your typical router. Just basic copper. And actually, this one here is just filled with air. vRouter 3C has antennas that are made up of high quality copper paired with PCB antennas, Wi-Fi coverage. And that's not all. vRouter 3C has 4 antennas, and all of them are real. You can have 2 antennas that are dedicated to transmitting signals, and 2 that are dedicated to receiving. And we also alternate them. So this will be transmit, this is receive, this is transmit, and then receive. This is any potential interference. Better signal range. It comes with 64 megabytes of RAM. That's connected to your network uses some RAM. So having more RAM means devices can connect to your network and you can keep more stable connections. vRouter 3C has 8 times the RAM of a typical router. And most of them never list how much RAM they have. So this allows us to have up to 64 devices connected at any time. Most important thing, speed. How does this all translate into speed? The thing that everybody cares most about. And vRouter 3C transmits data faster and at further distances than typical routers. It delivers up to 300 Mbps combined upload and download speed. But maximum theoretical speed isn't what matters most in practice. We wanted to find out how vRouter 3C performs in a real-world setting compared to other routers in the market. You might have seen this photo that I put on Twitter a few weeks ago. What we were actually doing with these concrete blocks, various tests with construction materials, things like copper, aluminum foil, mirrors, etc. We wanted to see what would happen in the real world. So how does vRouter 3C stack up? Here are the results. You can see that at 15 meters, performance is about the same. When you just go 10 meters further away, the D-Link router drops by more than 35%. At 45 meters, vRouter 3C has more than 5 times the speed of the second best router. Or in this case, barely connects 3C has more than double the speed of the next router. And again, at 45 meters, it's stuck. And the TP-Link, in this case, doesn't connect at all. Some of the other real-world speed tests that we filmed in my house. Take a look. So I'm sure that some of you have experienced at least one of these scenarios in the video, especially the last one, where you're Uber and you're walking outside and you're trying to check the status, and then suddenly you have no connection. So, how much will Mi Router 3C cost? Well, first, let me summarize quickly. Up to 300 Mbps speeds, up to 80 meters of range, 64 connected devices because of the 64 megabytes of RAM, which again is 8 times more than a typical router. 4 antennas, all real, and all of this is easily controlled from the Mi Wi-Fi app. The price? This is Mi Router 3C. Smarter router. Okay, so 2 the 4100 mAh 2-day battery, and Mi Router 3C with better range, better speed, and a smarter software. So let me invite Manu on stage so you guys can take a look at this thing.
I'm doing it right. No, this hand. Louder on this hand. Louder over there. Okay. Thank you. So when can you buy these devices? Redmi 4 in partnership with Amazon. So this product you can buy starting 23rd of May at 12 noon on both me.com and Amazon India. For Amazon fans, they can also buy Redmi 4 from a first Mi Home starting 20th of May. Goes live. For Mi Home, we're introducing a new feature which is called as pre-booking. So me.com starting today evening. And between now, you can actually pre-book a device. For pre-booking, you'll have to pay a small token advance money of 1,000 rupees. And the pre-booking on 20th. But of course, this is not compulsory. So you can still walk to our on 20th or 21st and buy a phone, and we will try and make it available on a first basis. We will issue you an F code. You can still buy a phone, and you will never be disappointed if you walk into our home. Meet out of 3C starting 23rd of May. And again, you can go and buy it from Me Home starting 20th of May. Launch on partner platforms, both Flipkart and Amazon, starting 8th of June. So that's all, guys. Thank you so much for joining in today. For our media colleagues, we have something special. I want you guys to Bangalore to experience our first Me Home. But we understand a lot of you could not travel. Home experience here. Home here. Please do check this out after the launch event. That's all, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks to our fans who are watching us on live stream. Thank you.